Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money. Welcome to the Show Me the Money podcast. Brought to you by Tavern Sports. It's been a exciting week. Last week we had almost a perfect week. Cole decided to go and take a shit on us for that. Actually, I take it back. Cole, you didn't take a shit. UNC took the biggest shit of the week. And honestly, I think the biggest shit that we've had since we started this podcast, a 23.5 point favorite that got absolutely smoked by Virginia. Cole was the only loss last week for the lock of the week. He had UNC to cover, and UNC did not even win as 23.5 point favorites. So other than that, Tyler hit Rutgers. Josh hit Air Force. I hit Ohio State, which we were split last week, if everybody remembers that, but I ended up choosing that as my lock. And then UCLA, Clark hit with that, and Parker hit with Mizzou. So overall, still not bad. If you bet our locks, you went 5-1. So you're still in a very good positive outlook in your sports book right now. So, but honestly, as exciting as college football was last week, it wasn't nearly as exciting as what we experienced the last couple of days with baseball. 2 game sevens, not one, but 2 game sevens for the championship series, both in the NL and the AL. Going home with the ALCS was the Texas Rangers, and wow, to say they hit the ball well would be an understatement. To put up as many runs as they did back to back against the Astros is no easy task, and they did it by a lot. Adolis Garcia was your ALCS MVP, just absolutely mashed the ball. 5 home runs in 4 games. The guy in 2019, so the year before COVID, was DFA'd by the Cardinals. He got cut by the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals. He has been the heart and soul of that team since he started with the Rangers. He honestly has been, up until last year when Seager and Semien joined, he was the only positive aspect of that team. And so they've made a lot of changes. They've gotten a lot better. And we get to finally see them compete for the first time, or to see them compete and try and win their first ever World Series title against Clark's Arizona Diamondbacks.
Snakes alive.
Who the fuck saw the 84 win Diamondbacks making the World Series? Because I think we all thought when they started the playoffs this year, they were going up against a tough Brewers team, and they swept them. They were going up against one of the best teams in baseball, the LA Dodgers. They swept them. And then they take Philadelphia to 7 games. And they produced offensively like nobody's business. And they produced with their bullpen that I don't think anybody knew was this locked down. So they were a lot of fun to watch. Ketel Marte he's been the captain of that team for a while now. He was their NLCS MVP. But he honestly, to me, wasn't the real story there. Corbin Carroll, that rookie of the year, was on fire that last game. I mean, he was the make or break guy in game 7. And he showed the value that he can bring on it, not just a day-to-day basis, but the value he can bring as a star player on that team. He went 3 for 4, I believe, was his final line with a walk. He had 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and 2 stolen bases. So those stolen bases matter because those are, those were some of the stuff he scored on. He put his team in a position to win. So that's definitely he was the big difference in that series to me. I'm kind of shocked he didn't win the NLCS just because of that last game there. I also saw that I believe the last two games, the 3 or 4 stars on that team who make up for $825 million on the payroll, they went 1 for 24 in the last 2 games. Castellanos in the NLCS 1 for 25.
I think 12 of them were strikeouts too.
That doesn't surprise me even a little bit, honestly. It surprises me that he went 1 for 25. The fact that he struck out 12 of those times doesn't surprise me. However, it's unreal to see how a guy went from being arguably one of the NLDS's best, or the NLDS's best player to arguably the worst guy to have in the NLCS for the Phillies. Because he doesn't provide with his defense. In fact, we saw that had you put somebody who was a better outfielder out there, you would have gotten better results defensively. And I think you could have put the average fielder out there and it would have been better. But Clark, what are you most excited for watching your D-backs come up here in this World Series?
Dude, just being there. We were literally the last seed in a wild card, and to be in the World Series is just, I can't be any happier. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch every game.
Well, the best part is we all get to make our picks for this series. As much as I love your Diamondbacks, Clarky, I'm not going with them. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the Rangers. Give me the Rangers in 5. I think the Diamondbacks will take 1. I don't think Zach Gallen is gonna be the winner there. But Big Dick Nick Fat could win a game. So what about you, Ty? Who are you taking in the series?
I've had Clark's back in a lot of things. In this thing in particular, the Diamondbacks weren't supposed to be there. 84-win team, super expensive lineup for the Rangers, better pitching for the Rangers. Top to bottom better for the Rangers, but Snake's alive. Going with the D-backs, I'm riding with Clark. I don't care. It might not be the best investment of your money. But what I'm going to do is calling it now. Diamondbacks lose game 1. Title odds go through the roof. That's when we bet them. Because personally, right now, I don't feel like there's enough value in the Diamondbacks to win this series. Being so undermanned and not relying on a super expensive payroll. They got a lot of homegrown guys. I really feel like the books right now are almost giving them too much credit on the line. There's not as much value in it. So I'm going to say they lose game 1. Then I'll hammer them to win the series and have to fight our way out of a hole. But they went up into the bank in Philly and won 6 and 7. So yeah, I'm riding with the Snakes. Snakes alive. Parker, where are you at with this?
Yeah, it's been an exciting week for baseball. I mean, you get 2 game 7s. That's incredible. Rangers team looks incredible. They got a lot of players that like to hit the ball. I'm with you guys on the Diamondbacks kind of undermanned. They don't really have that powerful star-studded lineup like the Rangers do. Although they've kind of been the underdog. They kind of got that going for them there. They haven't had the best lineup or the best pitching in any series they had, and they just have found ways to win and claw their way back. I think it's going to be a fun series to watch. I'm thinking we see a game 7. I'm taking the Snakes in game 7. They're clawing their way back, and we're going to see it. I think it's going to be a fun series to watch. Who knows? Might not be wrong. I'm hyping on this Snakes train, and let's go. Snakes in 7.
Yeah, I mean, last time the Rangers were in the World Series was against my Cardinals, and if I'm not mistaken, that was 2011.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
'em.
that was the first year of the double wild card teams. Cardinals were the last wild card team. Zeros to heroes in the playoffs. It's gonna happen to the Rangers again. They're gonna get beat by a wild card team. I'm gonna call it in 6 for the D-backs.
I do love the Diamondbacks. I'm a big Diamondbacks guy. I got to go with Alec. That's the hometown boy. He's been phenomenal. Their pitching staff has been phenomenal. I do agree with Tyler. I think they do lose game one. It's a big stage. It's a huge stage. And I think a lot of those guys are going to come out real hot, but it's going to work not in their favor. Nerves are going to pick up around the third inning. Just a guess. Third inning, 2 home runs. Bet it now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's a waste of money. No, I'm going with the Diamondbacks in 7. Diamondbacks in 7. I want a long World Series.
Ethan's the only one going with the Rangers.
Way to save the
Fuck those
graphic.
Rangers.
Way to save the graphic.
I like the Rangers. I think Seager and the other left-handed bats in the Rangers lineup are going to play a big role in this game, or in these games,
Huge
I should
role.
say.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have a lot of right-handed pitching, and the few lefties that they have are in the bullpen, which is fine. But I think the Rangers are going to smack. I think the Rangers can smack the Diamondbacks around a little bit early, and that's gonna shock them a little bit. Anyway, after all of that is said and done, there's a lot of games that can be played in this World Series coming up. We're gonna head into college football, and we're gonna start off with Iowa. Oh, wait, no, we're not. They have the week off.
Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Yeah,
Fucking over 'em,
we'll
dude.
still lose. We'll
Lost
still
to the
find a.
fucking Gophers.
Yeah.
What a fucking losers.
We called the
That
fair
was such
We
a
got
catch this
bullshit
week.
fucked.
call.
We got fucked.
Yeah. Apparently, boys, if you didn't know this, you might already know this. The referee that called the fair catch was the same ref that called back Jack Campbell's pick 6 last year from Minnesota.
Pretty weird.
I don't
Where'd he
know
go
what
to
I
school?
smell, but it kind of smells like collusion. I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah, something isn't right, honestly. Doesn't matter how many times you watch the video, he clearly never signaled for a fair catch. It wasn't what they were reviewing in the video either. The video
Yeah,
was
what
being
the fuck was that?
the video was being reviewed for stepping out of bounds. They didn't find that because he was nowhere near out of bounds. And then sure enough, they were like, "Oh, wait, look at his arm is waving as he's running, just like what happens while you're running, your arm moves." So
It's a getaway signal.
I am right there with you.
When does this?
For all my
mean
football
this.
fans, you learned that in Pee Wee football. I'm 95% sure.
It's just the fact that during the Monday interviews with Big Ten officials and higher ups, the suits of the Big Ten, they came out and said that video was reviewed overhead and then determined that it was a fair catch from an overhead signal. First off, for an invalid fair catch signal, there needs to be a beanbag thrown at the ground where there was a fair catch so they can mark the spot of the ball. If you advance the ball on a illegal fair catch or an invalid fair catch, there's an extra penalty. So they should have backed the Hawks up an extra 5 yards. Nobody on Minnesota stopped trying to tackle him. Nobody on Minnesota looked like they were just lackadaisical. There were 6 guys surrounding him when he caught the ball. All right. He made that play. Granted, should Iowa have lost this way? No, we couldn't beat a team who put up 12 points. So did we deserve a loss? Yes. Are we all reasonable Iowa fans and know that we're going to lose at some point to a team we shouldn't lose to? Yes. I just wish that in the fact that we would have lost outright without this controversial call, because it was bound to happen at some point. We're all realistic in that. It's just shitty that it came with a controversy.
You just can't
and
take
then
it from them like that, though, is the thing.
Exactly. And a controversy that has now come out after the targeting call with 43 seconds left in the first half that ended up leading to a Minnesota field goal just got overturned the other day. I believe yesterday or today, actually.
I didn't see that.
So that got overturned, which then would have kept Minnesota an extra 15 yards back, and they would have had to make that ground up before the field goal, which, and if they don't get that field goal, Iowa's up 10-9 towards the end of the game there. If and buts were candy and nuts, you know what I mean? We knew Iowa was going to lose a shitty game at some point. Sucks it had to be this way and with the controversy. However, we can still win the Big Ten West and go get blown out by whoever. We're already bowl eligible. Ferentz doesn't have his 25 point per game average. We need him gone so bad.
Get him out.
Yeah, the offense is just abysmal. We were talking about it in the group chat. If we're not going to rely on passing the ball, we might as well switch to a triple option team and not recruit any wide receivers, and just throw to the tight ends like Army or Air Force and Navy. When they played that game, they triple option, and we're throwing the ball 6 times a game. Who cares? Come stop it. We'll rely on the punt and the defense. If that's what Kirk wants to do, at least go with an efficient run offense. And you can throw any Joe Schmo in at quarterback, any Joe Schmo in at wide receiver, because right now our offensive scheme is not attracting offensive recruits. We're not attracting wide receivers. We're not attracting quarterbacks. Honestly, it's kind of a blessing to have McNamara be hurt this year and he can come back next year. And hopefully we can
officially announced he is.
Yeah.
Yes. And hopefully
the biggest thing with me with the recruiting is Iowa's arguably the best school at developing tight ends, and we can't get top tight ends. There are 2 of the top 5 tight ends in this year's class that are both going to Georgia. They would rather fight each other for playing time at Georgia than come play at Iowa.
Yeah,
I just don't get that. Because
nobody wants to play for Iowa.
I get that, but our offense is so bad we can't attract the position that we are the best at developing and putting studs into the NFL at.
Even that Proctor kid went to Bama instead of Iowa.
Yeah,
he
came out
terrible. He has looked.
Has he really?
Terrible. Oh,
he came out. When he did that, because he was initially committed to Iowa, he came out and said, I don't feel like stepping onto a campus where I'm the best player on the team my first day on campus as an 18-year-old kid. And, we were all pissed off at him about it, but when it came out, but we all also got it. We understood. We didn't blame him for not wanting to come to Iowa and have that weight on his shoulders.
But
speak for yourself. Fuck that kid.
That's what I'm saying, man. Every time he gets a penalty at Alabama, I'm like, this dumbass, he wouldn't have got one at Iowa. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's understandable. I mean, he wanted to go where the competition was, but I'm with you guys. It's just 7 yards in that second half. We deserve to lose that game.
We deserve to lose that game 100%. But I think let's go to a game that actually is taking place this week, and I think we should start off with number 6 Oklahoma visiting Kansas. Kansas is 10-point home dogs. Parker, lead us off with this.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of those Jayhawks. I like their quarterback, Jaden Daniels.
Not in this week.
Not in this week. So then that gets scary. With him, he's missed a lot of games this year. I don't know if he re-aggravated that knee again or what's he out for? I don't remember, but
I don't know.
This Oklahoma team's
his back.
They're either really good or they're really mid and can find a way to sneak it out. I mean, my gut's going to go with Oklahoma here. I just don't think Kansas's defense is going to really be able to do much with this Oklahoma offense. But I don't know about 10-point favorites, but I do think Oklahoma wins this game.
Clark, where are you at with this one?
I'm agreeing with Parker. The 10 points could be a little scary here, but I think Oklahoma covers 10 points. I mean, it's in Kansas. Even in Kansas, I think they cover the 10.
Josh?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oklahoma terrifies. I'm getting 9.5, by the way. But anyhow, Oklahoma terrifies me because last week I was high on them. They hadn't lost ATS all year, and then they come out and damn near lose straight up to UCF at home. Like, I'd like to say that's going to
Was
be
a
a wake
great
up
game
call.
too.
I'd like to say it's going to be a wake up call for them. Hopefully it is. If it is, they're going to kick the shit out of Kansas. But Kansas usually plays this game pretty tight. Even when Oklahoma's a much better football team, it's usually a pretty good rivalry game between the two of them. Kansas has covered in the last 2 years. Last year, granted, it was 10.5, and the final spread was 10, so barely. But without Jane Daniels, I think I'm going to stick with Oklahoma 9.5, 10, whatever they're at.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma here, strictly on a bounce back. The committee, well, not the committee, because the committee hasn't came out yet. They're going to soon. But the AP poll has showed that they are resistant to letting in good teams. And I mean, it's fair. None of the top teams have lost yet, and it's really hard to move, but you're not getting much fluctuation in the top four. I think if Oklahoma's going to want to get in, they're going to have to start turning it on people and show like, hey, we're high flying. We're going to sell tickets. We're going to get, people to watch on TV, because otherwise I don't see how this Oklahoma team gets in. Their schedule's not super tough the rest of the way. They're probably going to get Texas in the Big 12 championship game. And like, if they get there and they beat them, you beat Texas team twice in the same season. I definitely think they should go in for that, but I don't think you can just rely on that. So I think this team needs to start turning it on now on people and just being undeniable to the committee. So I'm going to go Oklahoma -10, strictly because they need to just start lighting it up even more than they already have to ensure that they get a spot in the postseason. Cole, where are you at with this one?
That was kind of my thoughts exactly. Going off that, I don't think it's a question. I think Oklahoma's going to come in fucking pissed. I think they're going to be real pissed off that they almost lost UCF. Granted, I watched that game with two people that went to UCF, so I kind of had to pull for them. But they're 6-1 against the spread. They're 7-0. I don't see a game that this isn't a 9.5 win.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I'm with you. I'm tailing you on that, Ty, as well. Oklahoma is obviously they had a tough week last week, but without Kansas and without Jaden Daniels in Kansas, I think it's going to be hard for Kansas to cover 9.5 even at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a high flying matchup. Josh, what are you thinking?
Yeah, man, you mentioned, the strength of schedule, and I just kind of want to harp on that for a second. The number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation right now are Georgia and Michigan. And, if you're not letting OU in on their strength of schedule when they have to play Texas, I don't see how you're ever letting either one of those two teams in. So, maybe the committee can look at that UCF game last week and say, hey, you let them stay in that game till the end. Like, that was a scary one for you. But at this point, you can't convince me that the committee really looks at strength of schedule that much, because Michigan literally hasn't played a peewee football team yet this year. They have played so many bad games, and they have to play one good game before the end of the year.
I mean, they got to play Ohio State, and
yeah, it's just Ohio State though. I don't even think they have Penn State on their schedule this year. I was just looking.
No, they don't. But same with them in Georgia. Georgia hasn't lost in damn near 2 years. No matter what they do, you're not kicking them out strictly for that reason. Michigan's kind of the same way. They've beaten Ohio State. They go in, they handle business. If they fall in the postseason, they fall. Till one of them loses, I don't see them getting booted out.
I'm sorry, they do have to play Penn State in 3 weeks. They have to play Penn State.
Yeah. Anybody coming from the Big Ten besides the only one you can really look at is like if Michigan plays Ohio State or Penn State. Those are really the only three teams that really can compete outside of our whole division and whole
props
league.
to props to Ohio State on
like-
schedule harder teams than Michigan. Just to add to your point.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's just hard. That's why you see them kind of get stumped or kind of get blown out in those when they get to that high level, because they're not used to playing those big fast teams like those SEC teams.
Yeah. I agree with you, Parker.
And then just kind of touching on the Iowa thing just one more time. Our one saving grace in the West is Wisconsin still has to play Ohio State. And the committee doesn't get a vote on who plays in the Big Ten championship. So, and as long as Ohio State beats Wisconsin, we have the tiebreaker against Wisconsin.
Yeah. Let's kick it down to the biggest cocktail party on earth. Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville. It's a neutral site game. These guys are going to be boozing, and it is, like they said, the biggest cocktail party on earth. Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite. No Brock Bowers for the first time this week. They are coming off of a bye. They've had plenty of time to prepare, scheme, and plan to not have Brock Bowers. I mean, I'm assuming if everything goes well with his surgery, he will be back in time for the college football playoffs, maybe the SEC championship game. I don't see Georgia needing to play him anytime soon. There's not going to be a rush. I think they might let him get a tune-up game in before the postseason starts. But I think I'm going to ride with Georgia here in this one. Kind of the same situation as like earlier in the year. They were struggling to cover the spread, and then they whooped Kentucky's ass. I think they're going to come out here and know there's going to be a lot of eyes on this game and really tune it up. So I'm going to go with Georgia here. Carson Beck's looked good. Clark, where are you headed with this one?
I'm right there with you. I like this Georgia team. I think, like you were saying at the beginning of the year, they were struggling a little bit, but they're going to come out and beat this Florida team. Parker, you can go next.
I mean, I'm with you guys. I mean, Georgia's looked really good. Yes, they come off to a slow start a lot of times, but I just think once that offense gets rolling, their defense can just smother all the offenses, and they just find a way. They just find a way in the end zone. Georgia should be able to handle business wherever they go.
I actually think the other way around from you guys. I think Georgia's going to win. I'm not questioning that. But Florida's not necessarily the easiest place to travel to and play. So I'm going to take Florida plus 14.5.
It's not at Florida, though. It's not in the swamp. It's in Jacksonville. It is a neutral site.
Oh, see, I missed that.
Site.
It's in Duval.
Oh, man.
We love Jacksonville, don't we?
That's a tough one, then.
We're jagging off, baby.
I don't know if I'd sway either way then.
Got pick.
Florida's a good football team.
My thing with Florida is their quarterback they've played in Ohio State. He's played an Ohio State team before, being really well going while he was at Wisconsin. But like other than that, he has not faced a defense this nasty.
That's true.
And I just don't think he's going to live up to the big moment. A Wisconsin quarterback getting slapped into the largest cocktail party on earth. They might booze a lot up there, but they don't party like they do in Jacksonville. I think it's going to be a little like too bright moment if that can sway you at all, Ethan.
You know what? Nah, I don't think it's going to. Give me Florida plus 14.5.
You're a mutt.
Graham Mertz is not him.
That's really shitty because I'm going to say the same thing. I think the Florida fans are going to show up and it's going to get fucking rowdy. It's going to get rowdy. The lights are on. This is their time to shine. They've hung around with teams all year. I mean, they're 5-2. They're not a bad football team by any means. I think plus 14.5 might be a good bet.
They ain't Georgia.
Josh,
Georgia.
Honestly, dude, like Georgia gave up 20 to Vandy 2 weeks ago. I'm just sitting here looking at Georgia's like what they've done this year, and outside of their
down, dog. Come on.
Outside of their cupcakes, their first 2 weeks, like they almost play to the level of their opponents, with the glaring exception of the Kentucky game. Like, they only beat Vandy by 17. I mean, they've smacked on UAB by 28, but it's UAB, you fucking better. They gave up 14 to Spencer Rattler in South Carolina. They
Fuck
only
the
scored
Cox.
24 there. Like, the only thing that's keeping me from like hammering Florida is they're also god awful against the spread. But when it comes to the worst team in the SEC, Florida put up more points against Vandy and held Vandy to less points. So I'm on Florida this week.
Thank you. Georgia
So
is
we're-
also
Ouch.
2-5 against the spread, just as a saying.
So
Two
we're
and
split.
five, but Florida's 3-4 though, so it's like shit on shit, honestly.
That is a better
And
record than 2-5.
they're both god awful on totals too. Like,
So we
I
were
don't know.
split last week too. Parker and I were on the winning side of that one. Parker and I are also on the same side for this one. You three are jabronis, and we're gonna hand y'all another L. Just
I
saying.
mean, probably because, like I said, this Georgia team plays to the level of their opponent, and since they smacked the fuck out of Kentucky, they're probably gonna smack the fuck out of Florida just to show the committee, like, hey, when we want to, like, we can. You know, like, because these are realistically the only
Yeah.
2 games they're gonna be able to put their hat on all year. Like, when they go to the committee and like say, "Hey, put us in," they're obviously gonna be like, "We haven't lost in 2 years, so fuck you, we're in." But like, if you need proof, look what we did when we had to.
At the time, we beat number 14 Kentucky by 40 points.
Yeah. So I mean, if I'm really not gonna do a lot of betting this week at all because a lot of these games fucking suck.
Yeah, the lines are very skewed.
Like, I might take the week off entirely, honestly, but
Play baseball. Play some baseball.
Yeah, I'll say
bets.
bet
Yeah.
baseball.
But the
Gundam,
thing is,
like, if I had to hit the bet or a bullet goes in my head, I'd probably side with Georgia, but that's not the case, so I'm going Florida because vibes.
yep,
Howard.
you're a mutt. College game day this week.
Yeah.
Number 8 Oregon at number 13 Utah. Utah very slept on this year, coming off of a win at USC and spitting on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams 0-3 in his career against Utah.
Rod.
Who is your daddy, Caleb Williams? It's Utah. Utah at home, 6.5-point dogs. What are you talking about, Tyler? They have an 18-game win streak at home, 1 loss at home since 2018. They've seen bigger. They've seen badder. It's going to be no-show Bo Nix and the Ducks coming into the Utah. It's not happening this week. I called it last week. I said Utah covers, sprinkle a money line. Don't put them in a parlay. We're doing the same damn song and dance this week. Utah plus 6.5. I might be smart and buy it up to 7.5. So if they do lose by a touchdown, I can still make money, but it doesn't matter. Give me Utah plus 6.5, plus 7.5, and I'm gonna sprinkle a money line again.
Fucking
No
suck it
parlay
harder.
pieces here. No parlay pieces here. When you see a trend, you ride it. You never get up from the table when the blackjack table's hot, right, boys? You fucking finish.
Absolutely.
Okay? I will ride this Utah Utes train till the wheels come the fuck off until they prove me wrong at home. Utah plus 6.5 at home. Josh, you said I'm gonna suck it. We'll pass to you. What's your opinion here? Go against me. I dare you, you fucking mutt.
Listen, everyone on this podcast loves the Utes. We all love betting with the Utes. They finally came out this week and officially said Cam's done for the season. He's not playing. I called that last week. You know, no big deal. The only thing that kind of scares me is they are going against the number 1 offense in the country in yards and the number 2 offense in the country in scoring. And you're like, well, Josh, USC's got a good offense and they beat the fuck out of USC. Yes. But USC
Fuck
doesn't
USC.
play fuck USC. USC doesn't play defense. These Duckies play defense. They are a top 25 defense in both aspects. That's just going to be too much for this Utah offense that just has not impressed me this year.
You're gonna mention defenses without
well,
mentioning Utah's defense?
I know, dude. We've been on Utah all year. Everyone knows how good Utah's defense is. That's not. I didn't think I needed to mention that. Sorry. I thought we all knew how good Utah's defense was. That's on me. Sorry, I don't know that you guys have common fucking sense.
On this episode of Josh and Tyler go head to head.
I'm going to chime in here. But
No,
does
let me-
Bo
just let me
Nix know that
finish, dude.
Utah
Just let
has
me
a good
fin-
defense?
Bo Nix is a fucking old man. Fuck him. I gotta go with the Ducks just because they're not gonna let Utah score. What's the total here? 47.5 under.
Who's going
Not
next?
going under.
Cole, what's up, buddy?
I wholeheartedly disagree.
That's fine.
Josh, I'll give you one thing. I'm riding that fucking train with you, baby. I'm riding it. 6.5. Bo Nix is a dog. The Utes are great. The Utes are great. Tyler, I'm sorry. I don't think they beat this offense straight up.
Clark's over there shaking his head.
But I'm also
like
going to
a
go with the
fucking
over.
idiot. What's up, Clark?
I'm also going to go with the over.
I made my mistake last week taking Caleb Williams and USC against Utah.
Told you not to.
And now we get Utah at home. It's gonna get loud. Bo Nix is gonna shit himself, and Utah is covering this fucking spread.
At a baby.
I
No
hope
show,
that-
Bo.
hey,
Come on.
And I hope they do. I really hope they do because that would put Utah in the top 10, and then we can talk about them in the playoffs maybe next week. But I don't think it's going to happen. I really want it to. I really do. But with real dollars, I'm going with Oregon. I'm going with the team that's already in the top 10.
I'm riding.
Real
I'm riding with Tyler and Clark. That
Come on, baby.
the Utah team has not lost at home. I'm with Tyler. I'm keep betting them until they lose. Like, show me that they will lose at home, and then I will have my reason to not bet on them when they are playing at home. But until then, I'm going to continue betting on them because it's free money. It feels like it's free money.
Parker.
Hey, guys. Utah's got a great defense. You know who gets scared against great defenses?
No show, Bo.
No Show Bo. I bet my money on No Show Bo once, and he let me down. You know, he couldn't show up when he was at Auburn. Why do you think they got rid of him? Now he's at Oregon, about to do the same thing, about to under pressure. Give me the Utes and the rowdiest barn there is. They cover, and we're going to talk about them later on in the future.
Best
I hope
part
you
about
guys
them
are right.
covering, they're going to win. Because I'm going to, you know what? They haven't lost at home. I'm telling you, take them on the spread if you want to be smart. But there might be a rent check hitting them on the fucking money line. 19-0. We'll talk about it again next. Oh, no. Hey, gamble responsibly. Be 21 over. Check your state laws. Don't gamble in states you can't gamble in.
Make
This
sure
is
you
all
can
just
pay your
this
rent.
is all just
Yeah.
our advice, not anything you should follow or listen to. We're not responsible if you do place a rent check and lose your money. With that being said, if Utah wins this week, timeout. When Utah wins this week, I will be holding a ticket, and if that ticket is large enough, when the Busch Lights start talking to me, we will be buying a Utah jersey. We will be seeing them in a New Year's Six bowl. It's the Utes all the way, baby. Give me the Utes.
Who's jersey?
Is that a handshake bet?
Doesn't matter. Fucking right, it's a handshake bet.
Are you gonna go to the Utes New Year's Six Bowl, Tyler? You gonna buy a ticket?
Boy,
Yeah.
if it's close by, you bet your sweet bippy I'll be there. Me and Clark
Tyler,
getting on a road trip. We're fucking heading down there.
I was going
Might
to say,
have
I'll
to.
meet you there.
Might
I'll meet
have
you
to.
there.
Might have to. I got
Another
money for
ranked
the whole-
matchup this week, guys. Number 20 Duke is visiting number 18 Louisville. Louisville is 4-point favorites at home. Do we have any word on Riley Leonard? Is he in this week or is he out?
I'm looking at the
Anybody
injuries right
have-
now. He's just said it's questionable still.
He
Okay.
will suit
Well,
up for
while-
Saturday's matchup according to covers.
Perfect. So
No free ads.
last week I was very, very, very deep into the adult sodas, and Duke was playing Florida State. Duke up 10. Parker,
Guy.
go ahead and drop some large bet.
So I'm on my way home from Iowa City after a terrible loss, and I get a phone call, and I just hear, "Arr! What, Tyler? What game do you want me to bet on? 80 on Florida State minus what's their spread?" I was like, "Well, they're at 6.5 right now." So I'm like, "Tyler, what'd you say?" He goes, "I want 80 on it." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Normally I only ask because this is a substantially higher bet than one so makes. And as my friend's
Man was
bookie
counting the cards.
and as a good bookie and friend, I go, "Are you sure?" And then as I say that, they dropped to 5.5. And I'm like, "Oh, hey, Florida State's 5.5." And he goes, "Hammer it." And I'm like, "All right, timeout. You need to text me because I want proof that you said this. So that way, if it comes back and bites me in the ass, that you said you wanted it." Well, guess what, baby? Show me the money. Florida State covers the minus 5.5. And it's a payday for our boy TT Lee.
Not only did I hit them at 5.5 when they were down 10, when they were down 7, I called him and placed one unit on them at minus 9.5. So I actually hit Florida State at minus 9.5 and minus 5.5. And I don't think that would have happened with Riley Leonard in the game the entire time. So shout out for him for taking the second half off. With that being said, this week, if Riley Leonard is in, I will be taking Duke. If Riley Leonard is for sure in, I see this game coming down to 3, maybe 3.5, but I definitely think there'll be some line movement. If Riley Leonard's in, I will be betting this game with Duke. If he is not in, give me Louisville strictly for the mojo of not having our quarterback or we having our quarterback. I think it's going to be a little confusing for the guys. So I'll take Louisville at home unless Riley Leonard is playing. So bettors beware. Maybe check that out before game time and put that slip in about a half hour beforehand. What do you guys think?
That's a great hit. I didn't know about that one. I didn't hear about that. That's a great fucking hit.
It was a weekend saver. It was a weekend saver.
Oh yeah.
I have watched both teams. I've watched Duke get killed. I've watched Louisville get killed. However, when Louisville played, they didn't just. It wasn't playing bad. It was playing like LSU, and LSU hasn't played good football, especially defensively. Duke, we've to me at least, I have seen them play better football than Louisville has. Watching the Louisville game, I think 2 weeks ago, that was enough for me to say I can't willingly bet on that team ever. So I'm gonna go with Duke +4 on this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Who's going?
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really gives me a hold up is this Louisville team somehow beat Notre Dame by 13. But then they turn around and they lost to Pitt. The fuck are you doing? Duke's just the better team, I think, really. Riley Leonard almost played the second half last week. If he almost played the second half last week, makes sense that he would play this week. So, also this Duke team murdered NC State. So,
who the fuck is NC State?
North Carolina State.
Yeah, I know. Who the fuck are they?
Bums?
Give me Louisville -4.5.
Why?
Why the fuck not?
Hey, Cole. Hey.
Cole, are you okay?
Hey, Cole. Don't let him bully you. You know why? Because I'm going to take Louisville. I'm going to take Louisville -4.5.
They're 3-0 at home. They're 3-0 against the spread at home. They're 3-2
Louisville-
1 against the spread on this season, but we won't. Talk
Louisville
about
going in and beating a Notre Dame team looks
it.
great.
He's incredible.
But then they come and lose to Pitt. They lost to
on the
fucking
road,
Pitt.
bad weather. What are you going to do? I mean,
They
It
lost
doesn't
by
matter.
17 to Pitt.
They beat Notre Dame by 14.
Notre Dame's a bunch of
I'm
bums.
just saying
Oh,
it's going to be a
Really?
it's going to be a close game. I think regardless, I think it comes down to a field goal. But I'm going to take Louisville.
They only
I
beat,
just
they,
something to
they only beat Indiana by 7. And you're going to tell me they're going to beat Duke?
It doesn't
No.
matter.
Not just
I
a
think-
basketball
fucking
school.
matter.
Not just a basketball school.
Louisville's a
go.
baseball school.
Let's go. Let's go,
Two
Cole.
sports schools.
You guys are
Shout out Kyle Funkhauser, by the way.
Okay.
Ethan,
Enough
have you
of
made
that
a
riffraff.
pick?
I have not made a pick.
Clark hasn't made a pick. Let's hear it. Clark, where are you at?
Fuck Louisville. I would tease
Fuck
this
you.
up to 6.5 points for Duke.
Say,
Oh.
Plus 6.5. If Riley Leonard's
wait,
in,
plus
dude,
6.5? You're going to take it
minus-
higher?
I would take them minus
There you
6.5.
go. I like that.
Genuinely would take them minus 6.5 if Riley Leonard is in the game. Louisville ain't shit. Where the fuck is Kentucky? Like, who cares?
It's right over by fuck you and your feelings. Louisville minus 4.5.
Cole, this
Alright.
doesn't have anything to do with you being a North Carolina fan, does it?
No,
It does.
Liar!
not in the slightest
Let's-
bit.
Liar!
It does.
Let's go our
Slightest
last game of the week, and let's go number 21 Tennessee at now unranked Kentucky. Kentucky is 3.5 point home dogs. I will be with Kentucky. No further questions. Cole, where are you at with this one?
Tyler, I have questions.
No further questions. Cole, where are you at with this one?
Tennessee minus 3.5, baby.
We can't talk this weekend, Cole. We are on the opposite side of every game. No further discussions. Just don't hit me up till Sunday. We'll see whose account got fatter. Clark, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Tyler, I wouldn't want it any other way. I
Tennessee.
love you, buddy.
Tennessee, Kentucky. Someone go up. Someone else go quick.
Give me
Who
Tennessee.
the fuck knows how either team's gonna fucking play. Kentucky
Honest,
started
bro.
off really hot and then kind of fizzled out. Tennessee started to fizzle out. They kind of been fizzling all year. You don't know if they're gonna show up or not.
Give me Tennessee.
Thank you.
Tennessee.
Kentucky's a basketball school. They're not a football school. They can fuck
Whichever
off.
one of you donkeys took
Give me the
Kentucky,
Rocky
that's
Top.
exactly what you fucking are.
Give me Rocky
I
Top.
can't wait to wake up on old Rocky Top up in the Tennessee hills.
They
Rocky
down
Top.
their leg.
Rocky
They-
Top, Tennessee.
They had Alabama on the ropes and pissed down their leg in
Yes, so
Tuscaloosa.
but that game was a lot closer to what that final score ended up being. We all know that.
No,
That game was
doesn't
played
matter.
a lot closer than that final score says.
You are what the scoreboard says you are, and I think that broke their back. Last week, I think having that complete meltdown, I don't think they're going to go into Kentucky and win this game. I just can't trust the offense to be there all 4 quarters. Clark, have you finally decided where you're going to be at with this one?
Fuck Kentucky. Tennessee is winning this. Tennessee.
Am I by
You
myself?
fucking mark.
Am I by myself?
Yeah, you fucking
Yeah,
mutt.
You
You mutt.
fucking mutt.
Mutt.
You
Fucking
mud
mutt.
bud.
Mutt.
I was holding a ticket again on Kentucky. Actually, I was holding a ticket on South Carolina alone last week and lost. This is my bounce back week as well. So, fuck you guys.
You want to talk about bad beats last week, bro? I lost $50 in 60 seconds. It was fucking rough.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines, and parlays, and of course, food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023. You can follow them on TikTok at tavern.sports and on Twitter at Tavern Sports 23. Into our NFL talk for the day. I see that there were a couple more games added on here.
Before we talk NFL talk, Tuesday is the trade deadline. I'd love to talk a little bit of trade talks. Do you guys think the Bears add anybody before the deadline? Do you guys think we sell anybody before the deadline? We have a few big names that are in the last year of their contract that teams may want. Most notably Jalen Johnson, Darnell Mooney for a team that might want a good wide receiver 3 for the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Bears being sellers, maybe a buyer, but I don't see them coming off one of their 2 first round picks here. I would rather see us save those for whether we need a new quarterback or decide to get a new quarterback or O-line or wide receiver. If we can trade late round picks for maybe one of those D-line for Washington, that'd be cool, but
they're
I
saying
don't
like
really
seconds or thirds. I'd happily give up a third for either one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Even a second. I'd like to see
trade
the
Justin
Bears.
Field to the Titans and get Derrick Henry.
I wanted to bring that up.
Fuck no.
I would love. What do you guys think? Say it costs a third and a fifth.
If we're actually serious about getting rid of Justin Fields, now's the time to do it.
So
I mean,
they'll wait until after the game Sunday night, but they won't do it. I mean, people want there to be a quarterback controversy between him and Bajent right now, and there's really not. Like the only way you have a quarterback controversy is if you don't know if Justin would go back in as soon as he's healthy, and there's no one questioning that fact. The second Justin's healthy, he goes back into play quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
Listen, this happens every fucking year. Halfway through the season, we don't start off too hot. It's get rid of Justin, fire everybody. I'm on the fire everybody train. I like polls. I need Eberflus or whatever the fuck his name is. He looks like, I'll keep that one to myself. It happens every year. You don't get rid of Justin. You add your D-line. You add maybe 1 or 2 O-line if you can. You don't get rid of any first or second rounders because Poles is notorious. He can take that first rounder or second rounder and turn it into 3 or 4 picks. So I don't think the Bears are even going to add anybody, just knowing our fucking organization and we're cheap bastards.
I disagree with you on the offensive line.
I do think Jalen Johnson is going to get extended, though.
Yeah, I think after last week's game, Jalen gets extended for sure.
He earned it.
Yeah, he finally he got 2 picks. Through the rest of his entire career, he's had 1, which I've always defended him as he's not a pick guy. He's not a jump the route guy. He's a great cover corner. And on the days he gets a pick, and that's great for your defense. But that's why we have Kyler Gordon, who jumps routes, Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson, and even now Tyreek Stevenson. They all jump routes really well. You don't need to have...
They're all dogs.
Yeah, you don't need to have everyone on your defense jumping routes. You need to have a guy that can face guard a Devonta Adams, an Amon-Ra St. Brown, a Justin Jefferson. Like, you have to have somebody that can do that, and Jalen's really good at doing that. But I disagree with you, Cole, on the offensive line. The Bears' offensive line is actually graded out very highly all year. A lot of the sacks
I know.
A lot of the sacks that are being given up by the Bears are 100% on Justin or coverage sacks. And there's not much you can do about a coverage sack. It really, again, a coverage sack comes down to Justin needs to run the ball more and run it sooner. I really like our offensive line. We need to do something on the defensive line. And I would really love to see them go after King Henry. Give up a third.
No.
Yes. Why wouldn't you? We're the best. We've been so good at running the ball the last 2 years. Why wouldn't you want Derrick Henry?
Because he's old.
Who
cares?
knows what's going to happen? It's the
Look at
trade
his past
deadline.
2 years.
We're not going
Why would you
to.
waste the?
It's not going to matter. We're not going to do anything at the trade deadline. But I think it'd be fun to see Derrick Henry in navy and burnt orange.
No.
It's going to be exciting. I'm
Maybe
excited to
Raven.
see this trade deadline. All trade deadlines are always exciting to see where people go because it's usually never where we expect. But I mean, let's start talking about some of these games. The first game we have on here, the Jets versus the Giants. The Jets at Giants, the backup bowl.
Same stadium.
So, oh, yeah. I guess it's a home game for both teams.
It's a home
Crazy
game
how
for
that
both
works.
teams.
Yeah.
It's a shit fucking game. This is
I
so
don't know why
terrible.
we're talking about this one.
The
This is-
backup bowl.
I put
I'll
this
take
on
it.
here. I put this on here because I wanted to see who the true garbage can of New York football is.
Who really is the
It's-
home team?
It's the Giants. You guys see
It's the battle of the home team.
Dalvin Cook was bitching about his fucking workload. It's like, dude, you're
I
beyond
did.
your prime. You got signed
Yeah.
to a 1-year deal. What did you think
Derrick
was going to
Henry.
happen? You're not going to take over the workload from Brees Hall. Get fucked. Like, I like the Jets here though.
I agree, 100%. Giants are the worst team in the NFL.
Cole,
There's only one thing I'm going to bet on this game, and it's over 0.5 ACLs torn.
MetLife Turf.
That's
strike
that's
MetLife
a great
Turf
bet.
Monster?
That's a great bet.
The MetLife Turf Monster is fucking real, and it needs to go away. That is my bet. If you can find the prop, if you get one knee injury during the game, fucking take it. There's got to be a book somewhere that gives that.
This
I'll be
backup
the
Real
field is
G-Gen
sick.
book.
Bet the under. Clark, where are you at?
Under. This game is ass.
Under all day long.
I'm going the under, but if Tyrod Taylor's running this ship, give me the Giants.
Jets defense is too good. Yeah, Jets defense is too good.
They finally have
Uh,
someone back there that knows what they're doing, though.
Yeah.
Let's
they're
talk
both
Sunday
terrible.
night football, boys. Bears at Chargers. It's an away home game for the Bears.
They
Bears
gave
fans travels. The Chargers don't they don't have fans. They have to pay
Only the
people to show
plant.
up. Yeah, just
Only
a
the
plant.
plant.
It's 8.5 for the Chargers. I'm gonna open this up by saying it's too many fucking points. I get the Bears are bad. LA's bad. LA's really bad this year.
Justin Herbert and Khalil Mack and the rest of the lads out there are going to
Khalil
let
Mack-
the swing.
Khalil Mack has 7 sacks on the season. 6 of them were against the Raiders. He has
Doesn't
1
matter.
in the rest of the year.
Is this
They're gonna-
Khalil's game first game back against
Is
the Bears?
Joey still hurt?
No,
Joey's
I
been
don't
hurt
believe
like
so.
most of the year. He's still gonna. The way they've been using him is like impact downs, and according to the guy that writes for the Athletic, I don't have his name. I'm sorry, but he writes for the Athletic on behalf of the Chargers. He said it's going to be the same kind of usage. They're going to use him on big money downs, and that's about it.
Their defense is too good. If Austin Eckler's back, we can't stop him. Our defense is not that good. At like that, is it a lot of points? Yes. Have primetime games sucked so far this year? Yes. Primetime unders are massive. The Bills and Bucks are in the middle of a primetime under right now. I can see this being a primetime under, and I could see if it goes under and it's nasty and muddy, the Bears could cover, but I'm going to go ahead and say Bajent is going to shit down his leg against this good of a defense. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers here. So
You realize the Chargers are
I'll
the
be back.
worst passing defense in the entire league this year, right?
I'm not worried about their passing defense. I'm worried about our O-line stopping
Our O-line's good.
No.
Our O-line is good. It is statistically good.
I think Eckler
Here's your props for the week. Bajent over whatever his number is. DJ Moore over whatever his number is. DJ Moore catches whatever his number is. DJ Moore
Eckler.
touchdown. I don't even care about the Chargers offense or defense or anything in this. They give out, you can look at their track record. They're averaging like 140 yards or something like that to a team's number 1 target. They're so bad. They're averaging over 400 yards to opposing quarterbacks. They are so bad.
I don't like either team in this game, to be honest. If it could end in a tie, I would fucking bet on it.
It can to see NFL.
But-
It can. It
Yeah,
can
but-
end in a tie.
It can end in a tie, but I don't think it will in a tie.
It's
And
very-
you can bet on it.
the Bears
I-
will win this game
I
for
will
the
throw
pure
a
fact
dollar
that it
on
would
it,
be a
just for
Bears
shits
thing
and
to
gigs.
do to win this game.
Yeah, I could agree with that
But-
statement, Josh.
The
But I
Bears
would
will play
tease-
themselves out of this top 10 pick. They will.
Maybe. But I'm gonna take LA here. I'm gonna take -8.5. but I would like it more if it was 6.5. And I'm taking Eckler's over on anything, receiving yards, rushing yards. I think that's what I think. What is it? What do you think, Parker? Have you talked yet?
Fuck, man, it's the Bears. I mean, they could find a way to fucking win this game, and then we're all just pissed off because they won, but we're happy because they won because it's the Bears. I have no clue how they're going to come out and play. Bajan hasn't played bad. He looked decent against the Raiders. I know the Raiders aren't that good of a team, but I mean, realistically, the Chargers should be able to handle business against us. But I mean, who knows? It is a primetime game. Who in the world thought the Bears should have a primetime game? Kind of crazy. I know everyone's got to have one, but give me the Chargers at -8.5.
Yeah, if I was forced to make a pick in this one, it wouldn't be the Bears, I'll tell you that. Give me the Chargers.
I'm going Bears. My whole thing with the Bears is, like I said, it would be a very Bears thing to do to win this football game. And Tyson Bagent winning this football game would give the Monday morning fucking talk show something to talk about. So
That's fair.
and it would get us further and further away from having the 1-2 overall pick. It's just a Bears thing to do.
All right. Our next game that we will bring up, let's go to the Bengals 49ers. I think that's the next interesting game I have listed. The 49ers are only 4.5-point favorites. I feel like that's maybe a little bit low. Granted, the 49ers haven't played
Big
well
Hawk Brock's
lately.
in concussion protocol.
Coming off 2 L's.
I don't think Brock Purdy is everything that everybody's hyping him up to be. He looks like the same guy he was at Iowa State. It helps when you have the best team around you. And and I think the 49ers mentioned him being the next $55 million man, which might be the biggest load of shit I've heard in my entire life.
I would agree with you, Ethan. I mean, you could kind of tell in that game right there. He couldn't put passes where he needed to put passes. I mean, yes, he's an okay quarterback, but you could really throw any 70% passing quarterback in that offensive scheme, and they play lights out. I mean,
agree.
they're really the first team to show that if you spend all your money on skilled positions and put an okay quarterback, you can win football games. And it's worked so far. Now with Brock Purdy being in concussion protocol, you're gonna have Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold, right? Isn't he supposed to be the one? I've never had a problem with Darnold. We'll see what he can do, but I guess the Bengals haven't really looked that good. This could end up being actually a pretty good game with these two teams, but I want Joe Burrow. Give me Shiesty.
CMC touchdown and nothing else.
Yep, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Give him 17 straight games with a touchdown.
Bengals plus whatever it is. Sam Darnold's not going to win this football game.
I think Sam Darnold managed this game pretty well. I think this game kind of is going to show us that Brock Purdy, he's not top 10 like people are saying, but I still think Sam Darnold can squeak a win out here, and I think he could cover 4.5.
Let's talk Raiders at Lions. Lions 7.5. Raiders got blown out by the fucking Bears. The Lions are way better than the Bears. I like Lions -7.5. The only reason it's here is because I think it's free money. Any thoughts?
I think everybody probably agrees with you. Give me the Lions -7.5.
Lions -7.5.
Yeah.
Vikings at Packers. Packers are getting a 1.5. Vikings are just better than the Packers. Packers fucking suck at football.
No, thank you for me. Won't be putting my money there.
If I had to pick, I'm taking the Vikings.
Parker?
I don't know. I won't watch that game. If I have to pick, give me the Vikings. I mean, I hate the Packers, so give me the Vikings.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would take the Vikings again. I'm with these guys. I don't need to bet on that game though.
Give me Kirk Cousins 6 touchdowns for my fantasy. That's about it.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to the NHL talk now. Ty, NHL, I know you've been paying probably the most attention compared to anybody else. Is there anything exciting that you're looking at this weekend that you think that could be pretty entertaining money wise?
I mean, Bedard and the Hawks going into Vegas. Vegas undefeated to start the year, coming off of the Stanley Cup. Most teams, they say, like, you have that championship hangover. These guys so far haven't. Interesting. The Bruins, who had the best regular season record of all time, they're starting the season undefeated as well. So two really good teams. On the opposite end of that, San Jose is still winless. They're currently on a East Coast and Florida road trip. So I would say I don't expect them to pick up one on the road here unless maybe they get a good spot against the backup goalie. But right now, it's really the good teams are good. The Phillies weren't projected to be good this year. Their coach has them,
The who?
Pump not the Phillies. Phillies have been big with the MLB. The Philadelphia Flyers. They have been, a team that is too young right now to not know how bad they are. So right now they're playing really, really well. I think once we get later into the season that these guys are going to start showing their true colors. But right now the Flyers are good the lines are good for them. They're underdogs quite a bit, or if they are the favorite, it's a short favorite, and you can make some decent money with them. But that's kind of like playing with a hand grenade. You got to pick your spots really well with them. The Kraken were projected to make another playoff run. They've started off pretty slow. They actually just got their first win against the Red Wings the other night, an overtime win. However, they were up 3-1 in the second period, gave up 2 goals, had to go to overtime to get that one back. So they got a lead, then blew it, and then snuck it out. So look for them to turn it on. I mean, Winnipeg, tough barn, the Jets. Grubauer is playing pretty well. I personally am a St. Louis Blues fan. They weren't really projected to do too much this year, just barely missed the playoffs, really maybe get lucky and sneak in one of those last spots. Story going on with them is Binnington was a rookie when the Blues won the Cup in 19, and he was lights out. The last few years, Binner has really showed that he's not really the most disciplined. He tries to get into a lot of fights. He has tried to fight other goalies. He's notorious for hitting dudes that are in front of him, setting a screen. But I think those antics kind of got away from his game. Whereas this year, he is dominant. He is being lights out so far. So if the Blues are going to make the playoffs, make a run, whatever, I think Binnington's going to have to play lights out still. But let's go ahead and get into our lock of the weeks this week. Ethan, will you start us out?
Oh shit! I almost forgot that we had to do lock of the week still. Yeah. Give me. I better check the odds for it real quick before I tell you for sure. But I would like to choose the Texas Rangers to win the first game tomorrow, Friday night. I want to make sure that the odds are low enough for me to pick it for a lock. Odds game 1.
They are minus 168 right now. They're minus 1.5 at plus 126.
Oh man,
156 will get you in there on the money line.
Let's do minus 1.5. Give me the run line for the Rangers at minus 1.5. So plus 128 odds. So they got a little bit to cover, but I think it's doable for this team. Let's go Rangers.
Alrighty, Clark's not with us right now, but his lock of the week is going to be Ohio State minus 13.5 against Wisconsin. That line is at 14.5. He is alt spreading it down to 13.5 to get us across that football number of 14. Parker, where are you at this week?
If no one's going NFL bets this week, I'm going to make us sweat our parlay. I'm going with the 9:30 late night game. Give me Arizona to cover against Oregon State at plus 3.5.
You are a sick fuck.
You're welcome, boys.
A sick
You'll
fuck.
thank me later. Hopefully.
Josh, where are we at this
Hopefully.
week?
Air Force is playing.
Yeah.
Air
I
Force.
called it.
Air Force minus 13.5. It wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
They're playing Colorado State.
Fair enough. Cole?
You mean Oregon minus 6.5?
Alrighty. That's how you're doing it.
You're breaking the streak right now? Is that what you're telling me, Cole? For the lock of the week, you are going against an
my god.
8-game home win streak. That's what we're rocking with, right?
Did you take
Fucking
Oregon
lead
earlier?
ball. Yeah.
You lost us the parlay last week. And
No,
that's what you're coming back.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you were
I
the
didn't
only
fucking
leg.
No.
You were the
I
only
did
leg.
not lose that. UNC shit down their leg like a scared puppy in front of a goddamn
You
train.
made the lock.
You were the only leg. The only leg. All right.
Well,
If
I
that's
will
what
be the
To
leg
be in the
this
only
week.
leg twice in a row.
if
Oh
that's
my
what we're
God.
doing, go for it. Before I give you my lock of the week, we're going with Tyler's teaser. We are still profitable on the season. I don't want to hear any complaints. We have lost 2 in a row, heartbreakingly. Oklahoma, Colorado the week before that. This week, I'm going to try to cook one up for you for good. We're going the same route we've always done. 6 legs, 8.5 points, plus 450. Mississippi State, plus 15 against Auburn. Duke, plus 13 against Louisville. We all have agreed that that was going to be a close game no matter which way it went. So let's make that plus 13. My piggies, Oklahoma down to -1 against Kansas. So we just need them to squeak a money line out. You guys might not like it, but we're going with USC -2 against Cal this week. I don't see them losing
I
to
don't hate
Cal.
that.
Cal's
I
dog
don't
shit.
hate that.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's not
Um,
UCLA, so
Cal will score, but USC should be fine.
Josh will love me. Air Force -5 against Colorado State, and then Ohio State -6 against Wisconsin. I think Ohio State just keeps what they've got going rolling.
I really like that one.
My super sick fuck pick of the week, and this is why I had to be last.
The youth. He's rattling the barn. No?
No,
Oh.
I'm not going against Cole if that's what
Oh.
Cole wants to do.
he's gonna go with like
This
the
is-
meat meeps or some shit.
This is a
I appreciate
sicko
it, Tyler.
pick.
I love you.
You have to have a mental illness or be a degenerate gambler to like this game.
Tyler, you have both of those.
Are you betting on D3 again?
Is it
Nebraska.
Alabama State Championship?
Oh!
It's 2.5
Get this dude
against
out of
Purdue.
here.
Against Purdue, it's in Nebraska. Matt Rule and the boys are rolling right now.
Oh, you're disgusting.
Give me Matt Rule.
bro.
and
Cole,
the
I
boys.
hope you hit
minus
just so
2.5.
Tyler can ruin this fucking bet.
This
What
guy
a fucking loser!
stinks.
What a mutt!
I'm a
Oh,
sick
brother,
of-
this guy stinks.
Get him out!
Hey,
Kick
it's
him
already
through the
not
call.
hitting because of Cole. It's already not hitting because of Cole. You guys are looking at this leg going, what sick fuck would do this? This one would. Nebraska -2.5 at home. Matt Rule and the boys are buzzing. Here we go.
Tyler, I can't wait for you to make you suck my
Wow.
left nut when that hits.
Wow.
Okay, I can tell you what I'm gonna do before we end this show. When I end up doing this parlay for everybody and post that up on the socials, I'm going to include the odds both with that game for Cole and with the with Oregon not covering and with
Eat a
Utah
fucking dick.
with Utah covering on the other one,
Can
just
you
because
also
Eat a
post
dick.
us off.
it with and without Nebraska?
Eat a dick.
You leave Nebraska.
I
in
hope
there.
Oregon wins by fucking 40.
Oh Jesus!
Don't you touch my
That is
Nebraska.
also a uniform bet. Just a heads up.
Of course, it's a uniform bet. Why wouldn't it be? It's
Oregon
fucking
has
Oregon.
the best uniforms every week. That's no question.
Cole, you and
Duh.
Oregon uniform bets are a match made in heaven.
I am in love. I am in love.
That's gonna do it for this episode of Show Me the Money. We are going to have this ready to go. We're gonna get a lot of bets going this weekend. There's not a whole lot of football, or at least good football to watch, so pay attention to the games that are good. But go ahead and start betting on some MLB, some NHL, some NBA started. Get those going. Show us the money.
See you at the window.